Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are with yet another episode of our Corporate Success Community Silver Star Hall of Fame interview series. And as you know, in every episode, we have a Silver Star with us. Today, we have Dr. Prachi. Now, before I go to Dr. Prachi, let me give you a quick gist about what this interview series is all about. In our Corporate Success Community, we have multiple levels of recognition. And one of the topmost recognitions is becoming a Silver Star. Now, it's not easy to be here because we have certain things and certain levels and certain qualification points in order to be there. So if you see someone here with me in this interview series, that only and only means that this person has deserved that title. This person has deserved to be there. So without any further ado, let me directly jump to Dr. Prachi Swami here. Dr. Prachi, first of all, welcome to this community. I'm really glad to have you as a part of this community. Secondly, I'm really proud and happy that you have finally made it up. You're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alok. And it's my, pleasure to be here with you in this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Prachi, just to get started and, bring a context to this entire interview so that whosoever is watching this interview, whosoever watches it later on, they get the right context of this entire thing. Dr. Prachi, what brings you to mindfulness?
Yeah. So I have been a very lifelong learner type of person and typical overachiever type A personality and running the race of life on my own for the very long duration of time. And then eventually the time came when, now I can say that it was an opportunity to explore something different. And that is how I started exploring the personal development, growth, life coaching, emotional intelligence, and all these tools. And I was very curious about the mindfulness as well. So I started guiding women to handle the difficult emotions after the loss of loved ones and to regenerate joy, peace, and harmony in their lives. And at the same time, I realized that this mindfulness component is playing very important role in overall healing, healing process that I went through and the women are in the need. So this was the first thing. And that is where I landed up on your page. And I was really able to connect with what you are sharing, your thoughts, your conviction was so high, and that just attracted me to the masterclass, which was mind blowing. And so here I am in front of you. That was the first, curiosity was the first thing. One more thing that on this journey of being entrepreneur, I felt a little lonely. I was trying to have that mastermind support where the people are there who are like-minded, striving for more and more growth. So when you say that you are providing that support for such a long duration, it takes a lot of courage to give this type of commitment. So I really appreciate your commitment towards the community and growth. So thank you so much. So
Thank
here
you.
I am.
Thank you, Dr. Prachi. I would like to go back to what you just said. You spoke about when I went through my healing process. Can you explore a little bit on that?
Yeah. So I had a dream. I always wanted to be a doctor. And it was like, everything was falling into place. I was a teacher's pet, gem student, a star in the family, and everything went according to the things were planned, including the marriage, completing the family, everything. But then was that messy corporate life where you punch on time and punch out also. The time for that, there is no limit of punching out. So I started with all those things like work-life balance, difficult to manage, the long working hours, being a doctor pathologist, working on Saturdays. So every Saturday is working for the doctors. We get a rotations on Sunday as well. And having a nuclear family in a metro city like Pune, it was quite challenging to drop my daughter to the daycare. And on the Saturdays, majority of the daycares were closed because none of the kids used to come.
Yeah.
So from there it started, and she started throwing the tantrums, and I ended up having a lots of, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, lot of negative thoughts. That baggage was so huge, and the paycheck was so attractive that I was not ready to leave it. So, but then the COVID came, and that time I felt that actually it is a big setback. But when I contemplate on my life now, I realize that it had been a blessing for me.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Dr. Prachi, if I have to ask you that, what are couple of breakthroughs that you have experienced in the past few months, especially when it comes to your health, or maybe when it comes to your career for that matter, or overall holistic breakthroughs? If you have noticed some, would you like to share that?
Yeah. There are many actually. So I would like to share few of them.
Yeah.
The first thing after joining this particular community, Alok, that being in this personal development industry, coaching people, guiding women for 2 to 3 years, I was able to transform myself. But there is that always but, that still but, where at some moments we just feel, uh, we sulk with those statements like take 100% responsibility. If something goes wrong, it is completely your responsibility. So I was acting sheer out of willpower and holding myself responsible for everything. But that acceptance was not there. So I was actually struggling to, take that responsibility. I have understood it intellectually, but when it comes to, imbibing it through your behavior, I was like struggling. I realized that here is the challenge. I want to take that responsibility, but there is something which is not, allowing me, or I'm not able to do it. And what is that? So after joining this community, I realized that my focus was still outwards. So that was the main breakthrough. That when it comes to particularly my personal relationship with my daughter, I realized that I was focusing on her behavior. And as you say, we are the role models. So the kids behave the way we behave. They don't listen to the instructions, what we are saying, but they do what we do.
Yes.
So that was the first thing that I realized, that it is something in me still needs to be changed. And that is my focus. The focus which should be inwards, and I'm projecting that in my relationship outwards. So this was the first realization. Then second thing is that
Dr. Prachi, I'd like to stop you here. I'm really sorry for that, but I would like to go deeper in this. What do you mean by my focus was outwards and then I was able to shift it inwards? If you can give little more understanding here, so that whosoever watches this later on, they can take some kind of actionables from this.
Yeah. So the first thing was, whenever, see, my daughter is a teenager, 12 years. So we know that they are also going through some type of changes, and their behavior also changes. But she's totally different than me. And I was not able to, accept that she's different than me. She's much different than me. Not a little, but a much different, because she's a different and unique human being.
Yeah.
That was creating clashes. So the typical parenting expectations, having a organized, neat room, doing the studies on the time and enjoying the playtime, reducing the screen time and going out for, more of a games, physical activities. So these things were a struggle. Having that communication about these things with her had been a big struggle. Because as we have learned, and we also went through this authoritative type of parenting, where we just, heard the instruction and then we obeyed. So I had been a very obedient kind of a student and a daughter and everything in my life. So I was wondering why she's not able to do that.
Yes, yes.
But when I became mindful about what exactly I'm doing when I'm talking to her, what is my tone? What are my words?
Yes. Can you come back to yes? That is a very important thing that you said, that when I started becoming more mindful about my behavior towards her, my tonality or my approach or my attitude, and what was that aha moment there?
Yeah, so first of all, I felt like, I'm still doing mistake. I'm
Yes,
still going wrong after learning so many things. I still
yes.
need to improve. So that was the first thing that, I realized. And so I have to shift inwards. I need to work
Mm,
on myself. So that was the realization. Something in me. So still, I felt that still the things are in my control. If
mm.
I can still change a little thing in me, I can have a better relationship with her.
Yes, and that's so important because Dr. Prachi, even I have seen this, that many a times, when things go wrong or they go haywire, especially in relationships, our first mode of operation is to point fingers at others and saying that he is at fault, or she is doing wrong, or this is happening because of her. But we never do that self reflection and analysis that maybe the fault lies here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
lovely. And that also comes under ownership, that you
Yeah.
have that ownership of your behaviors and your attitude. Lovely,
Yes.
super awesome. So the first breakthrough was about focus.
Yeah.
Let's go to the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second one is about my career,
Mm.
and I wanted to lead in the area of grief recovery.
Oh,
I
lovely.
had this specific interest for guiding women and healing them. But as you know, we all have the patterns of thinking in our life, and so as I reflect now that we just follow the society, we obey the instructions, and we give the power of decision to someone else.
Yes.
So for some of the life, parents will be the decision makers. Then
Mm.
many times it happens that husband, in-laws, and you are just submerged in that decision.
Mm.
So you are just saying
Mm.
yes.
Mm. You
So for
have no
this
say. Yeah.
decision, yes, yes. So for this also, I was seeking that validation from everyone around. I was seeking that, they should say that, yeah, yeah, this is the right thing, go ahead and do it. And that was not happening. So it was frustrating me that that validation is not coming. So I was scared to jump. I was
Yes.
scared to start this on my own. I
Mm.
was scared of consequences. I was scared of failures, bumps that I'm going to face, and taking the responsibility for everything on my own.
Mm.
So this was another challenge.
Mm.
And then I realized that, in our one on one call, when
Yeah.
you say that only you decide your niche,
Yes.
no one else.
Yes.
So that one sentence shifted me,
Mm.
and that installed courage in me to, to lead my life in the way that I want and
Yeah.
go through all the experiences, let it be good or bad.
Yeah.
So it shifted my perspective towards going through that experience, going through that process, no matter what is the outcome.
Mm. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's very powerful. The thing is, you said that grief recovery, and that is such a powerful niche that you have chosen for yourself and to help women. Um, there are two things I want to focus on uh, from what you just said. Number one is grief recovery, and second thing is the validation part that you spoke about.
Yeah.
Um, let's begin with grief recovery. Yes, I'm sure, Dr. Prachi, there would be so many women out there who would be watching this interview. And I'm sure out of them, there would be so many women who are actually going through grief, who are actually fighting through that emotion of grief. How would you like to guide them through this interview? how would you like to handhold them, or certain tips or hacks that you would like to share with them?
Yeah. So the first thing is that everyone faces the challenge of loss in their life. Many times people think that it is always a loss of loved ones, but which is not true. A job loss, major health issue, it can be a financial loss.
Yeah.
These all things impact you at a very deeper level and they can create a grief.
Yes.
So this awareness and knowledge itself is a lacking. Even the relationship breakup, divorce, these are the huge reasons that people go through the grief. And they keep on struggling, to navigate that anxiety, stress, and overwhelm with lot of things, but not addressing the core issue, which is grief. So when I say grief, it is not only sadness. So it has all other emotions as well, right? So it includes that stress, it includes anxiety, it includes overwhelm, guilt,
Sadness. Yeah.
shame, anger. So all these things are there with it. But many times that root thing is unaddressed.
Yes.
And there comes the role of, having that support. The first thing, the understanding that each grief is unique, like your fingerprint. As every person is unique, they have their own set of life experiences, their challenges, their old wounds and traumas, and grief retriggers everything. It brings on surface everything. So I realized that it is something, very deep. It is trying to give you a message to find the purpose and meaning in the life, even after the loss.
Wow. I love that. I love that sentence that you said, that grief is unique, and it's as unique like our fingerprint, because everyone is going through some or the other loss, and everyone's experience of that loss is also unique.
Yes.
Right? Fantastic. And if you go deeper into it, then you might be able to find your purpose, or maybe a hidden message or an inspiration behind that grief. Oh, lovely, lovely, super awesome, fantastic. Um, Dr. Prachi, I'm really intrigued and really curious about it. Can you share some kind of a hack or a tip for people? How can they find an inspiration or that silver lining in that darkness?
So all these things, talking about grief or negative emotions, overall is considered as a something, bad or wrong many times. So there is this trend of, I can say, pseudo positivity.
Yeah.
That means a trend of pretending that everything is fine. People are trying to hide their challenges, their sadness, and all these so-called negative emotions. They don't want to explore. And that is where they're suffering in the silence. So allowing yourself, first thing, to grieve completely and fully, and having that acceptance that it's okay to grieve, and still you deserve the support for the better life. This understanding and that self compassion when you are going through the process is very, very crucial.
Fantastic. Yes.
Because everyone grows at their own pace.
Mm, mm, mm. Fantastic. I love this. I love this. Actually, there's a lot of depth in what you just said. Number one is allowing yourself to grieve, because many a times, due to the societal norms and what others will say, and how people perceive me, how will they label me, etc., we don't allow ourselves to grieve. Especially, there are certain stereotype labels that men don't grieve, or women, they should not do this or that. And that's where we hold ourselves back. Number two is acceptance. You need to accept what has happened, right? Number three is deserve. And I really love this point, because many times we feel that, okay, if I've lost someone, or if this has happened to me, I don't deserve happiness, or maybe I don't deserve better options, I don't deserve this. And that's where we hold ourselves. That's where we lock and block ourselves. And number four is self-compassion. I've seen this, that many times we are compassionate towards others, but we are not compassionate towards ourselves. Right? Yes. Lovely, lovely, fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Prachi. Thank you for sharing these 4 points with us. how to deal with grief. Now, I'd love to come to validation, because I think this is also one of the most important areas. I remember I was having a word with one of my mentees the other day, and even he was, struggling with this validation, that I'm always, seeking for validation for small things. So tell us your experience with this, and how would you love to guide the viewers with who have this validation thing?
Yeah. So I came across something which may sound a bitter uh, advice when it comes to the seeking validation.
Yeah.
It had been a personal experience, and being a people pleaser
Mm.
for so long time, I realized that actually I'm seeking the validation and I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm trying to keep everyone happy, is just to get that love from them.
Yes, yes.
So the constant deal of exchange is going on in the mind. If I behave in this way, if I do something like this, I will get that love, I will get that attention.
Mm.
So that exchange is going on in the mind, and it is not unconditional. The behavior that we have as a people pleaser
Yes.
might apparently look like, a very helping and supportive for the others, and we may feel that we are doing the same thing, we are helping and supporting because they are in the need.
Yes.
No, it's about fulfilling your own need of getting that love, appreciation from them.
Lovely.
So the validation, seeking validation is the part of same.
Mm.
When you seek validation, it means you want their approval because you don't want to hurt them. That is the first thing. And the second thing is that you are not ready to take the responsibility of consequences like failure.
Get it. Get it.
So you are lacking in the courage.
Yes, fantastic. That's an, I'm sure that would be an eye opener for so many people, because yes, people are not ready to take that responsibility of making a choice. Uh,
Yeah.
so they have a proxy that you take a decision for me. So let me ask this to you: if you say yes, I will do it. And so we are actually transferring that responsibility. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Prachi. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so, having said that, Dr. Prachi, I'd love to know from you, how would you explore or explain mindfulness from your perspective? If you have to explain it to your community or to the women whom you are helping, how would you explain that?
So such a simple definition that you have given, about the mindfulness, that is to raising the awareness to bring the clarity, is
Mm,
is the simplest thing for the understanding.
yeah.
And now when it comes to my particular niche about grieving,
Yeah.
mindfulness has a very, very important role in grieving mindfully.
Mm,
When you allow yourself to grieve, it doesn't mean that go for the pity party or just spend days and nights and months in that phase. It doesn't mean that. So being mindful about where you are spending time, through what experiences, and are you just ruminating that event and getting stuck over there, or are you trying to shift the perspective? Are you trying anything that can mitigate your suffering? This
mm.
is very important, and there comes the role of mindfulness.
Lovely, lovely. Beautifully, you have actually integrated it in your practice.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic,
There
lovely.
is this activity of having that grieving time,
Ah,
or even for the other distress. You are supposed to give yourself a time. Okay, this is the time. Maybe 5 p.m. to 5:30 is the time where I'm going to give attention completely to my grief. Whatever I felt while going through that phase, or whatever I am feeling now, when I think of that particular incident, that emotional charge has to be reduced over the period of time, and you should learn to build that relationship with that grief. And that is
mm.
how you learn in and out of the phases of grief mindfully, to build that relationship.
I'm curious, can we also integrate journaling in this?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Journaling is a important, task or important act that they can do regularly to release their distress. And
Mm,
most importantly, it is a safe, non-judgmental for them. And when we involve our hands in writing something,
mm,
even though we have a racing thoughts, the brain has to slow down
yeah.
because it just cannot, catch up with the speed of writing.
Mm.
So that is how we slow down and become mindful eventually.
Lovely, super awesome. I'm really loving the kind of nuggets that you're sharing here. Thank you, Dr. Prachi, for that. Uh, I'd like to come to a very important discussion here, and I'm sure this would be very helpful for so many women out there who would be watching this, and that is focusing on working women. Now, you are a working woman, you are a coach, you are a doctor, um, you are a mother, you are a wife. So, I keep on getting this question a lot when it comes to work life balance, when it comes to handling all the things together, because, I cannot even leave this part of my life. I cannot even ignore that part of my life. Otherwise, it will be total havoc and chaos. So, Dr. Prachi, how do you manage things at your end? If you can give some tips and hacks for people who are watching this.
Yeah. So after going through a lot of permutations and combinations, implementing a lot of mental tools, trying different models to manage my time overall, I have learned this thing that you have to choose what particularly aligns with you, what suits with you. As we say, there is a big toolbox, different time management protocols, different journalings also, releasing the distress or gratitude journaling. These are the different things, but you have to choose again mindfully what suits you. When
Mm.
it comes to particularly about loss, gratitude journaling is very, very important along with the releasing distress.
Yes.
So you have to try, test different tools, and
Mm.
then after experimenting, measure what has given you the biggest result,
Mm.
and then remain consistent with that one thing.
Mm.
So for me, as I said, gratitude has worked like a miracle.
Mm.
My
Yeah,
morning starts with a practice of gratitude, and I have a big list of different areas. I have that structure ready,
I
and
love it.
I just fill up the things about the yesterday, and the rest things are ready. So I just take a almost 10 to 15 minutes. I read it aloud,
Oh,
and
nice.
I allow those feelings to flow through me, because everything is an emotion, energy in a motion, and that is how I start my day. I
Yes.
plan my day through my gratitude itself. I express gratitude in advance for going my day in particular way.
Yeah.
So my mind gets organized and it knows what
Yeah.
are the, what is the goal for today,
Mm.
and it takes a particular momentum. So, and the
Fantastic.
things fall into place automatically. So this has been a game changer for me.
Has it ever happened, Dr. Prachi, that you are in your coaching practice, you're working, and then your daughter is like, Mama, you are not giving me time. We need to go here. We need to do that. You're always busy. Or maybe your husband is like, come on, we need to do this. You're always so. How do you handle that? How do you
Yeah.
handle that pressure? Yeah.
Yeah, so this used to happen when I started as a newbie, maybe 2 3 years back. But
Mm.
eventually, I learned that it is very essential to communicate with them about what exactly I am doing and communicate in a understandable way to her. So
Yes.
now, as I'm sitting in front of you, she is here at home.
Yeah.
But since 2 days, I'm priming both of them that this is the time where I don't want you to disturb me in any possible way. So
That.
just imagine that this is a red light in my cabin. Like when the operation is going on, there is a red light outside the operation theater, right? So no one
Mm.
enters. So I have appropriately communicated with them that this is the time, that no distraction, whatever comes in your way, handle on your own.
Fantastic.
And now she has learned to do things, so it gives her a sense of independence. It gives her a sense of being a responsible person. It gives her sense of that she's also able to manage some of the things on her own. She can take decision on her own, and it gives me a liberty to become fully present in what I'm doing.
That's nice. That's nice. Yes, open communication plays a big role, wherein number one is open communication, and number two is the right expectation management also. So lovely. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, Dr. Prachi, um, in our community, in the corporate success community, we have multiple courses. We have a lot of concepts and stuff. Um, if I have to ask you, what are those top two or three concepts or top two or three strategies that are really working for you as magic? What would that be? So that anyone who listens to you can also start implementing it. Yeah.
So the first thing is 5 years to 8 breathing. I
Ah,
shared it so many times and I couldn't resist sharing it again. So it had been a game changer for me. I
mm,
knew 478 and other breathing techniques, but
yeah,
this comes, like savvy, very,
yeah, yes.
very handy. You can do it anytime, anywhere, even though I'm in the kitchen.
Mm,
If I start, my thoughts start racing. So
yeah,
I have to show up on this time. I have not done with this cooking. I need to pack a tiffin. When this starts, immediately I start firing, even
lovely.
in the kitchen, even when I'm riding a bike and I feel that I'm thinking too much, I immediately start firing it. Even if I'm downstairs with a group of people and I get distracted, I start firing. So it had been a very big easy anchor for me, and
Super.
it just brings me back in the moment. So it had been a really game changer. I could listen to the person, I could understand what is in between the words, because I am present fully with that.
Mm, yes, yes. Because many times it happens, right? We are physically here, but mentally and emotionally, we are planning something else, or maybe
Yeah,
reminiscing, or maybe thinking, "Oh, why did this happen?" etc., etc.
yeah.
Great, lovely.
So
Super
just
awesome.
5 to 10 breaths of 5-8 is enough for to completely come back in and listen completely.
Lovely. That's nice. Any other concept that you think?
Yeah. Another thing is that cat, calming your mind,
Yeah.
analyzing stress, whether it is X or 10x, and
Yes.
taking charge of control parameter. So this CAT technique has also worked wonderfully for me, and
Yes.
I do it almost on daily basis. Whenever I feel a little bit of stress, I just think, what is in my control? What can I exactly do here?
Yeah.
So that had been a game changer. Then another thing is that minimum productivity bursts of
Yes. Many productivity.
20 to 30 minutes, 20 to 30
MPBs.
minutes.
Yes.
So keeping the phone on the do not disturb upside down, and
Yes.
then for 15 to 20 minutes. So it has given immense impact on productivity. My focus is improved a lot with that practice, and it gives a sense of accomplishment, to
Yes.
complete some of the tasks. Some many times I don't even realize that 20 minutes have crossed. So if that distraction is not there, we keep on going with that flow. So it really helps me to enter that flow of thinking when I want to, create really something interesting for the tribe, planning some activity, or so that really helps to focus. That is another thing. Success planner.
Ah.
Success planner.
Yes. Yes.
So it is not one thing, like many things, but these are the top things. And success planner has, it has become like my coach, a life coach. So if I have a look at it, it will just throw the tasks that I
Yeah.
need to do, and it helps me to, be accountable towards myself.
Mm.
The strategies and the plans, I review it every 15 days. Some
Oh,
things are
nice.
not, like some things don't go according to the plan, and
Yes.
there is some delay, or some things even we finish early,
Mm.
but there is always a space to review and replan. So I keep on doing that. So I had this need also, Alok, before joining this community, being into this coaching industry. I always felt that if I get stuck, I should have some coach who will ask me the question, and then I will unstuck.
Yeah.
So this was there in my mind. But the success planner and the self questioning method that you shared,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
that is helping me to coach myself.
Yes. Yes. Questions are powerful. Questions are
Yeah.
powerful.
Yes.
Fantastic. I was talking to I was talking to one of the mentees and I said that, questions are so powerful. Just to give a context, go to Google and ask that why one should not drink milk. Why is milk bad for health? And Google will give you hundreds and thousands of pages with resources and research saying that why you should not drink milk. And then you change the question: why should one drink milk? Benefits of milk. And then again, Google will give you thousands of pages convincing you why you should drink milk every day. Right?
Yes.
So the kind of question that we ask is the kind of answer that we get. So super awesome. I'm so very happy, Dr. Prachi, the kind of nuggets that you have shared with all our viewers. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to benefit out of it, whether it is about focus, whether it was about grief, whether it was about validation, and then things that are really helping you. Really humbled, really happy. So coming to the end of this interview, if I have to ask you one last thing, and that is, what two life lessons would you love to leave our audience with? Two life lessons that are on the top of your mind. Yes.
So, as I already shared, healing takes courage. Courage is the first step. If we see the David Hawkins scale of consciousness,
yes,
the neutrality is also above the courage. So, show up for yourself. No matter what the hell you are going through, show up for yourself. Keep that commitment, because you always deserve a better life. We are born to thrive. And this is a very basic understanding that we are missing on.
Yes, that's powerful. Show up for yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And another thing is that give yourself 1,000-second chances. So it doesn't matter how many times you fail, setback, the challenges that you face, hit that reset button again and again and bounce back.
Fantastic. This reminds me one interview that I was watching, and this person said that why don't we give ourselves a second chance? Why do we try it once or twice and thrice and then we give up? Just think about a parent who is trying to teach his child to walk, and the child starts walking and falls once and then twice and thrice. So does the parent say that, no, that's over, you only had 3 chances, now you're going to crawl rest of your life? That doesn't happen that way, right? So the parent will make that child try it over and over again till the time he or she doesn't start walking. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And one more thing, Alok, why we don't give ourselves those chances is that because we try some of the things and we really give our 100%, but the result doesn't come. And that is when we actually give up. But we have to understand that the programming that we already have is for last 20, 30 or 40 years. And whatever things we are learning, it takes a time to sync with your subconscious.
Yes.
So you must have that patience and compassion towards yourself to have that result and transformation in your life.
That's awesome. Self-compassion. So we come back to that again. Okay.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you, Dr. Prachi. I'm really humbled. So very happy. And once again, I'm really proud of you that you are here. You are a silver star and you're a part of this community. Keep rocking, keep shining. That is the only thing that I would like to say. And you are a lighthouse to so many women out there. So keep shining and keep passing your light to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Alok. And this is the lovely way to measure the progress of your community. So more power to you, and please keep going.
Thank you. So here we come to the end of today's interview. What do you think about all the learnings that Dr. Prachi just shared with all of us? Do share your learnings in the comments below, and just stay connected, because very soon we'll be coming up with another superstar of our community, and there's a lot of learning coming your way.